This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Well, this is breaking, so let's begin with this. This is the Supreme Court, a unanimous decision ruling that Donald Trump cannot be removed from the ballot as a result of his participation in an insurrection against the country, because not because, this is important, not because he didn't participate in insurrection, not because he didn't attempt to overthrow the United States government by way of overturning a free and fair election. No. None of those are the reasons. It's because Congress has the sole power, according to the Supreme Court, in this, again, unanimous decision. Now, I'm going to start with a clip from NBC News that kind of breaks it down, that gives the scripted, and I don't mean that as a pejorative, I mean literally scripted. It's been poured over. They're giving you just the facts kind of a thing. And then I'm going to read a portion from page 20 of this particular decision, written by the liberal members of the court who did agree with the overall ruling, but not some parts of it. It's very, very important. First, here's NBC News giving you the broad strokes, and then we'll get into the details.
And a good Monday morning to you. We're coming on the air with some breaking news from the Supreme Court about former President Donald Trump. The High Court just said moments ago that Mr. Trump can stay on this year's presidential ballot in Colorado after that state barred him from its Republican primary. Colorado Supreme Court had disqualified Mr. Trump under a constitutional provision that bars people who engage in insurrection from holding office. The decision today, of course, coming ahead of tomorrow's Super Tuesday contest when 15 states, including Colorado, will hold primary elections. Senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett is here with us to walk us through what this decision means and what this decision does not mean. Vaughn Hilliard is also here in the studio as well. He's been covering the Trump campaign. Vaughn, I'll get to you in just a moment. Laura, let me start with you. This was a case that was about Colorado, but it sounds like this is going to have ramifications that extend beyond just that state.
Absolutely, Craig. The Republican frontrunner is now permitted to run for president, not only in Colorado, but across all 50 states. The justices here in a unanimous decision rejecting Colorado's effort to ban him under the Constitution's so-called insurrection clause. The heart of this case about the meaning of a largely untested provision of the Constitution, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which says essentially that if you take an oath to uphold the Constitution and then you engage in insurrection, you are not permitted to hold that office once again. But again, the court here is saying because the Constitution makes Congress rather than the states responsible for enforcing Section 3 against federal office holders and candidates, we reverse. So again, a clear win for the Republican frontrunner. The Colorado case was the one that was in front of them right now, but other states had tried to ban him from the ballot, including Maine and Illinois. With the court doing this right now, those essentially will also be wiped away, Craig.
So that is it. And it is, without a doubt, it is an embarrassment that we live in a country that our system is so flawed, it's so broken, it's so ineffective that someone who attempts to overthrow the United States government, someone who attempts to end democracy, can use democracy to get back into office to then end democracy. Again, page 20, there'll be a link to this ruling, to this judgment in the bottom of the description. I would encourage you to read through it, as with all the things that I read here. This is the concurring opinion, no dissent, but they did dissent in some way in this particular page. It's the last paragraph of the last page, so you can follow along. Section 3 serves an important, though rarely needed, role in our democracy. The American people have the power to vote for and elect candidates for national office. And that is a great and glorious thing. The men who drafted and ratified the 14th Amendment, however, had witnessed an insurrection and rebellion to defend slavery. They wanted to ensure that those who had participated in that insurrection and in possible future insurrections could not return to prominent roles, Today, the majority goes beyond the necessities of this case to limit how Section 3 can bar an oath-taking insurrectionist from becoming president. Although we agree that Colorado cannot enforce Section 3, we protest the majority's effort to use this case to define the limits of federal enforcement of that provision. Because we would decide only the issue before us, we concur only in the judgment. You see, this is another case, and this is colleagues of these Republicans, these MAGA idiots, these, Bart O'Kavanaugh. I love beer. Amy Coney Barrett, Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas, John Roberts. They are the worst of the worst. Neil Gorsuch. They are absolutely trying to give Donald Trump a pass here in order that he carry out their societal goals to transform America, to make it into, to craft it into their white Christian nationalist utopia. I don't know any other way to look at it. They're saying in this ruling, if you read through, that Section 5 of the 14th Amendment gives Congress the sole power to adjudicate, to put into action Section 3. Not a legal scholar, not a lawyer. I have to take them at their word. But I can tell you this, it is without doubt, you don't need to be a legal scholar, you don't need to be understanding the fulsome nature of the history of the Supreme Court of the United States to know that allowing someone to use democracy to then end democracy ain't good for democracy. I would encourage you in your participation in this conversation. What do you think? I'd love to know. We can talk about it in the comments. Look, that would help me a lot because it promotes YouTube to promote this channel. It persuades YouTube to promote this channel. I'm within 10,000 subscribers of hitting 600,000. It's a huge deal for me. Starting off years ago, 2017 or so, doing YouTube full time, and I never thought I'd be here. So I would appreciate it very much. You can also leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me as always, daily@dollemore.com. I would appreciate that. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to help support this work, click the join button below. Become a channel member here on YouTube for $2 a month. You can hit the super thanks button, or even better, because they take way less of a cut than YouTube, you can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I will see you next time. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you on social media if you're there. I'm at Dollemore, and we've seen better days. Be genuine. Take care of one another.